What's up, people? It's Imagine from ECF. I've got a follow-up to my original Buzz video. And first things first, I want to talk about what's in the unit and what the unit can do, and then I'll go over vapor production. But first things first, it's got 5-way protection. So it has, when the temperature gets too hot, the unit will shut down. When it shorts out, or anything in here shorts out, or battery, the unit will shut down. It has reverse polarity, excessive current drain, over discharging of batteries, and it has obviously the vent holes. There's 1, 2, and 3. And it also has an LED that not only serves as the LED, but it has a function as well. The more red, the lower the battery charge, and the lower the voltage. The more violet that comes through, the higher the voltage and the higher the batteries are. And it works quite well. The other night I had my first full battery die, and it went almost completely, like 98% red. So it really does function as it's supposed to. Let me drip a few drips in here and do some vapor production, and then we'll talk about a couple other things. But extremely impressed with the unit. I'm putting it through a lot of paces, and it's lived up. You get a ton of vapor. Now we all know this goes 3.7 to 6 volts. What I find very, very awesome about the unit, besides the fact that it can do that, is that you can find a sweet spot where you never knew there was a sweet spot. I found a lot between 4.5 and 5 volts, like 4.7, 4.6. All these little hair increment triggers, 4.4, 4.5, really do, you can find, the slightest difference from 4.4 to 4.6 is like sometimes night and day with these juices. It really does. It pops when you add just a little bit. Something might pop, and that's what I've found the most intriguing. And I've gotten to the point where I almost know the turns per, you become very in tune with it. So while it's cool to have the adapter to preset yourself, to start yourself off the lower voltage, I almost kind of at this point instinctively know revolution-wise where I'm going to be at. And you'll get there too. It doesn't take long. It's like you start off with 4.5. If you give it a click here and a click here, it's going to go up to 4.7 or 4.8, and you know where you're at in the area. The change of the vapor, the flavor, you know what you're doing, and it becomes a part of you. It really is a beautiful unit, and it wonderfully, wonderfully works. And let me disassemble the unit so everyone can kind of get a look at the bare body here. I'm going to take the atomizer off, take the bottom end cap. Now, on the very top of the unit is a native 901 connection. There we go. And it has knurling on the top, knurled, curled, whatever. And on the bottom, here's your unit. There's the inside of your tube. Here is the end cap. It's a really nice end cap. I like the spring. I did have a little bit of battery looseness in here, so what I did was just pull the spring forward a little bit, and that eliminated almost all of it. I obviously, I know it locks my threads, so everything's really smooth. Alright, let's put the batteries back in. It actually uses two 3.7 volt batteries. There's a ton of 3.7 volt batteries out in the market. AW brand, Trustfire, Ultrafire, IMR, the whole nine. You could pick out any kind. I actually have Trustfire 880 mAh 3.7. And a cool thing to remember about mAhs is every 100 mAh is roughly an hour's worth of battery life. So if you had 880 mAh, you should be getting somewhere between 7 and 8, 9 hours of life, which I do consistently get 7 to 9, depending on how moderate my vaping is that day. Some days I don't vape as much as other days, and some days I vape like there's no tomorrow. So, but battery life has stayed consistent, and it also has an LED. The LED does have a function. It's not just there for you to see, oh, it's on. Well, yeah, it tells you it's on, but it serves a better purpose, which is battery, and it's an indicator of sorts, and it does work. The lower the voltage that you tune this to, say you start off at 3.7, it's going to be a lot more red. If you go up towards 6, it's going to turn more violet and more purple. The higher it is, the higher the battery life is, it's going to be more violet. The lower, it's going to be more red. And then when it quits out completely, which it happened to me the other day, I was using it for a long time, trying to, I've done it 2 or 3 times now, where I've drained the batteries because I wanted to see what would happen, how does it cut. And it cuts completely off and turns almost 99% red. So I'm using it right now around 4.5, 4.7. There's a lot of sweet spots around there, really wonderful spots, and it really does hit wonderfully. What I found probably the most interesting about the device, obviously it's got the adjustable voltage, but it's finding these new sweet spots that you never knew were there. Finding a juice that wasn't so good at 3.7 or 6 volts or 5 volts, and finding a nice warm sweet spot at 5.4, 5.6, 5.7. The actual voltage that you get is low, when you load it, is still the same voltage every single hit. So you're not going to say, well, it's a 6 volt device, put my atomizer on, and it's really hitting at 5.2. This is whatever you tune it to is what you're getting every time. The same hit, the same hit. And it is just wonderful. There are a few small little details that I would change myself, but seeing how this is a brand new device just on the market and really groundbreaking technology, it's like, do you really want to stab at it and just, you gotta think there are some things that could have been, a little bit different. And I'm sure maybe on a V2 or the version 1.2 or Buzzkill 2.0, whatever, there will be differences. Everything evolves as time goes. The button, while it's a double-edged sword, okay? I can have this in my pocket, and it's actually recessed a little bit there's a groove, I'm gonna see if you can see that. And it's actually cut into the body. And it's like a clicky laser button, right? It actually serves a very good function. It doesn't really go off in your pocket. You really have to sit on the button. I've had it in my pocket. It's very pocketable. It's a very pocketable device compared to a lot of other devices. But double-edged sword. It does get a little hard to push every now and then because it's a pointy, thin little button, and it does get a little sore after a while. But in the same breath, it works wonderfully to carry around in your pocket, and it's become very natural for me to push it. I would like to see a little bit more of a softer round button in there, but like I said, for $115 you could give me a stick and I would poke it. It's just so sweet. Once you get to that variable voltage and you're really going through the different flavors and levels, you find yourself just like in heaven. But I get tons of vapor. Right now I'm loving that 4.6, 4.7 volt area. Um, like I said, 5 volts I found around 5.4, 5.5, and a lot of my juices are popping. It's got a 6-month warranty. Buzzkill on the forums. He seems like a really, really cool dude. I had a problem the other day. I emailed him and he said, don't worry about it, whatever, I'll take care of it. Really nice dude, and it has a wonderful device. The guy's hitting the spot where other vendors are going to probably be jumping on the bandwagon. I think a couple of them already are. But we'll be seeing a lot more variable voltage devices, I'm sure.